17 days after he passed away. John, that seems a little long, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure that his daughter had to pick a day that's going to piss off Trump. It's all political. What vice president has such a big send-off? Give me a vice president that had a really big send-off.
When I checked yesterday, they still hadn't decided whether or not he would repose in the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol for a while. I thought that would be almost automatic, but apparently not.
No, it's only for a president, Cliff. A vice president is just a vice president. They don't get
how many people are going to come and see him anyways? He was vice president, yes, but it's not something as many people, like John says, cares about.
You'd think the senators would. He was the president of the Senate for...
Well, what did he do? Does he have a Tom Golden history of doing nothing for 27 years? What did he do? I know he shot some people when he was on a hunting trip. That's what he'll go down for. That's what he'll be made famous for. But what did Cheney do?
He was important in the First and Second Gulf Wars.
How was he important?
Well, the first time as the Secretary of Defense, and the second time as Vice President, he pushed hard for the Second Gulf War.
The guy who's more important than him is the guy who said, "I'm in charge here," and he really wasn't. He was the Secretary of Defense back then, and he said, "I'm in charge here at the White House."
Yeah.
After
the president got shot and people were wondering who was in charge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That goof up will go a lot further than Dick. Dick Cheney will be remembered for shooting people while he was on a hunting trip.
Well, he'll also be remembered because of his daughter, with all that mess.
That she hates Trump? She hates Trump. That's her.
Yeah.
Her big deal.
And I bet, and Trump, what he cares about that? Nothing. He doesn't care.
You won't see Trump trotting by the casket.
Well, maybe. You never know.
Trump's a lot of things, but he's not a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Here's Fru.
Well, I think he had more of the less with Dick Cheney issues than he did with Cheney's daughter, Liz Cheney. But because Dick Cheney backed his daughter, then he got the collateral damage too.
Voted for Kamala Harris last year.
Well,
Fru, how you doing?
I'm fine, Cliff. Good morning, everyone.
Hey, Fru.
Good morning, Fru.
Fru, I want you to notice how hot it is up there in Florida where Mike is. He's got his fan cooking just to show off.
The fan is on, whether it's hot or cold down here.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's always on. We keep the fans on to circulate the air.
Sure,
Mike, let's trade places.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Fru. No, not trading places today. It's gonna be cool today. It may be only a high of 60 or 61. I know I'm getting no sympathy from you guys at all, but it will be cooler down here.
Oh, you poor devil.
Well, you have any thoughts on the passing of Dick Cheney, Fru?
Well, he served his country well, and I just wonder why he's so quiet. It's unusual.
They're trying to figure out what he did.
For someone, and I thought maybe his party would have made more celebrity and made it more public than they treat it as a low key, which is surprising to me.
Well, before you came on, we were asking the question, what other vice president got such a acclaim when he died?
What?
What other vice president got such an acclaim when he died? I don't think anyone's ever been brought to Washington to lay in the rotunda or to have a big military funeral that was a vice president. I think they're doing this just because Liz Cheney hates Trump's guts. That's my takeaway.
Well, I think anything discussed on this show is always politically inclined, and they know the people. I mean, nothing is ever looked without injecting politics to favor one's inclination on the side, and people see that the show it's mostly one-sided.
Well, that's why I asked the question. You've been around for a long time. Just name one vice president that had such an acclaim when he died. I don't think we can think of one.
Well, are you asking that question to his party or to who?
I'm asking the question to Fru. Fru, you.
Well, I don't know. I'm a commoner, an invisible non-entity,
Okay.
so I have nothing. I just watch what happens.
The smartest person in the room, that'd be Cliff. He doesn't remember a vice president that had such a acclaim when he passed away. Well, ask Marvelous Mike, who's sitting there in the Florida sunshine. Mike, hunter of the internet, did a vice president ever have such an acclaim?
The only time you'd see something was a vice president who became a president. That's what I see. But
So it's presidents only. Presidents only.
The governor, Maura Healey, said to fly the flags at half-staff for Dick Cheney.
It's just because his daughter hates Trump. You guys can't see that at all. So go back to the question: who lied in state that was a vice president ever? Nobody. What vice president in the past that passed away? I can see if he was from Massachusetts, but what vice president ever had the flags lowered to half-mast when he died? And we'll hear crickets on that one too. You know,
I can answer that one, John, because it looks as if you are speaking for someone. We always talk here and talk on behalf of people of our own inclination, but the other people that we talk against are not here to defend themselves, which is a big problem. And
look, this morning when I was shaving, I got my morning call from my friend Donald down in Washington, and he said, "Johnny boy, they're only honoring this guy because his daughter hates my guts."
Okay, John, I've got the information about who's lied in state.
Okay, tell me. Tell us.
As a vice president.
No, vice presidents, just vice presidents.
Vice presidents. Henry Wilson, 1875, vice president who died in office. Hubert Humphrey, former vice president senator who also laid in state. Okay? And George Clinton in 1812 died in office as vice president. Okay? So those are, there were some vice presidents who lied in state.
Hubert Humphrey, did he die while in office?
Well, Mike, thanks for that information, because there are some people talk so much and misinform our listeners, and they follow all this propaganda, which is what is making people probably turning people off from listening to us, because people inject their own theories and want to feed people with their own propaganda.
I like my propaganda. Now, Fru, you don't think this has anything to do with his daughter hating Trump's guts? You say that's nothing, right?
Well, you are injecting that. I don't think that was on the agenda.
I'm just asking you
about his daughter. You are bringing his family in. You are bringing the family in, and that is a personal issue for you.
I'm telling you, it's the only freaking reason.
All right. Hubert Humphrey did not die in office.
We heard that, yeah. I asked Mike, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Hubert Humphrey was was a former vice president who lied in state.
I'm going to
Former
take
Vice
myself
President,
off.
Senator.
I'm going back to you three guys. I'll take myself, unless Fru wants to beat me up some more. You good, Fru?
Huh?
I'm going away.
All right.
Where away?
No, not really, Fru.
Then the show will not be fair and balanced.
Yeah. So, Fru had a video on gerrymandering in Texas, which is supposed to squeeze 5 Democrats from the Texas U.S. House delegation. It was State Rep Ned Elizabeth Johnson, and she called it out as racism. Is that a fair statement, do you think, Fru?
Well, I brought that just because of what happened, the earthquake that happened on last Tuesday. That was about, I think that is the most important thing. And that in itself is that all those, in that area, you can compare it to any other state, but in that area, they targeted the black districts. That is what prompted her to make that statement. Gerrymandering goes along everywhere, but in that area, they targeted the 5 districts that they targeted with the districts of minority. So no matter how we twist it in any way, gerrymandering goes along everywhere in the country.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which party, Fru. They both parties do it because they want to win. They want to keep the power.
Yeah,
So
because I'm trying. Cliff is trying to inject this to think that to balance it somewhere else, but this is specifically about the minority districts. All those 5 that are mentioned. So let us look at it from those lenses, and that is the lens where the racism attitude comes in.
Yeah, I mean, when they make these decisions to gerrymander the districts, they take into that, just like you said, Fru, they take that into account. They take other things into account also. They do it so they can win. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's Republicans or Democrats. In this case, they're figuring that the minorities won't vote Republican, so they're going to change the balance. Yeah, you're right. In this case, they are targeting the minorities, and because that's not to their advantage.
I'm glad, Mike, you see with me, because if we leave that focus, it's going to be convoluted in this word racism and taking a different direction. She came out and spoke that, and she came out and actually x-rayed. It wasn't the minority complaining, but she pointed it out. I know it happens. Gerrymandering happens in California, where we can compare even in Democratic and Republican states. As Mike said it is about who wants to win.
Didn't it start in Massachusetts?
The other thing I wanted to mention is you can look at racism on both sides of the coin. So the Republicans are targeting the minority groups to minimize them so that the votes can go their way. But on the other hand, the Democrats are looking at the minority groups to get more votes. So it's looked at both sides of the coin, right? So
you are balanced, Mike. In that, I mean, I totally see with you.
Okay, so I think we ought to have a constitutional amendment.
You ain't going to get it.
give them a minute here, John.
He's not going to get it. I mean, I think they should have to quit their party when they get down to Washington. We should have a constitutional amendment on that, too. It's never going to happen.
I think we should have a constitutional amendment that says that districts should be reasonably balanced in terms of population and compact and have minimal district perimeter considering individual state boundaries.
I think we should have a constitutional amendment. If you win Powerball, there's no taxes.
Move to Canada. Move to Canada because they don't tax the Powerball or the Lotto up there.
Well, we do have a ploy in play to move to New Hampshire quickly should we win, so we can cheat Massachusetts out of their share.
Okay, so John brought up his hobby horse, abolishing political parties. It,
Yeah, once elected, abolish the political party, yes. I elect Americans. I don't elect Democrats. I don't elect Republicans. I don't elect Catholics or Muslims or Jews. I elect the best American for the job. Anybody else
well,
here?
but it's good you said you elect the best American for the job, and it is very ironical that just recently some candidates who are best Americans were judged and hated for their religion. You know who I'm talking of, who made history against all odds.
no.
Was that a question?
It was a comment. It was a comment, and to say we know who I'm talking of, because last week's discussion they were vilifying the elected mayor of New York and giving all sorts of excuses, but it was simply because of his religion and where he came from and what he stands.
Yeah.
Well, I can, I understand where you're coming on that, Fru, and I can understand where John is, because John's saying I elect the American I think is best. Well, the people in New York City think that Mondami was their best option. So let's, we got to wait and see how that
I agree.
balances out. How
I
it
agree.
comes out.
Mondami was the
Because
best option.
He's promising everything. Let's see if he comes through with any of it.
Well, Mike, we have a media that will never ask, if you don't provide this by the beginning of your second year, will you resign? We need a media that will ask that question. You're so hell-bent, we're going to have free
John, of all
everything.
politicians then,
Well, we have a media with no courage. Why doesn't the media ask a question like that? Mr. Mondami, wonderful promises. God bless you. I hope everything comes to fruition. But if it doesn't, in January of 2027, will you resign? And he'll say, no. And then we'll know what color the bird is.
Well, if he doesn't come through with what he says he's going to do, there'll be pressure put on him.
No,
And
no, they won't.
unfortunately, the pressure is going to be put on the middle class and the lower middle class, or the poor people in New York City.
Mike, all these news people,
People with money are going to just get up and move. They're just not going to stay there.
Mike, all these news people, they have a relative that wants a job. They're beholden to the elected officials for a job. Look at how many people who used to work in media, oh, he's Congressman so-and-so's feather cap. He's a Senator so-and-so's feather cap. What happened to that pretty girl used to, yeah, she's the media person for Senator so-and-so. They're all looking for a job. The media is shrinking every day, and they know AI media is going to take their job within 5 years. So the media is going to sell out to get a job.
So, Fru said something, I thought that Mondami's religion and origin played in the vote as well as his platform. Is that a fair characterization?
Well, I just said that people are more educated than they could have been manipulated before. But if you equally look, from what I see, the Jewish vote stood up for him. That is really going against all the narrative that is being spewed out there on television to create friction among people. I saw people canvassing for him, which just goes contrary to what you hear on TV, which is just putting people against each other. There is no encouragement of harmony, but that in itself was testimony that, you know, what the media say is not what is on the ground.
Yep.
The numbers coming from New York myself, not from New York City, but the numbers in New York City are overwhelmingly on the Democratic Party side. So for a Republican to win, things would have to be catastrophic going on in New York City. Giuliani is an example of getting elected as a Republican, because things were just so bad that they decided to go to the Republicans to see if that would fix things. But pretty much whoever gets the Democratic nomination right now in New York, whether it's for governor, the Senate, New York City, it's going to go Democrat, because the numbers, it's strictly numbers.
Okie doke. Well, I think we've beaten this to death.
But it's just...
What?
No, I say Matt put his finger on the pulse. He's from New York.
Yeah.
But the point that I want to make is people were pitching him that he's a socialist Muslim, he's a Muslim. But you look at the population that canvassed for this guy on TV. Historically, he made history that most of the people who come in and probably painting in such a way that the Jews would be against him, it's just a myth. Which show how level-headed that they vote people from the character, not by their faith or so. That's what I'm just saying, that the media should not use things to put us apart.
Yeah, people are voting for Mondami because it's not religion. They're looking for something better. It's expensive to live in New York City. And the cost of living and other things that are going on there, it's expensive. And the Republican Party is almost non-existent in New York now, especially in New York City. So if the Republicans had put up a decent candidate at all, maybe would have made some inroads. But the candidate that they put up is just not going to win. So, and then the alternative was Cuomo, who already had to resign as governor. So the only choice people really had, are hoping things will be better, is Mondami. I don't look at it whether he's Muslim or I don't really care about any of that. People, and I think a lot of people weren't looking at it from the religious point, like Fru was saying, is the media stokes that. They're looking at it, well, hopefully this guy will give us a better life, help us be better. But we just got to wait and see what will happen. I don't think it's going to get better because I don't know where the money's going to come from. But let's just see what he can do.
Yeah, during one of those debates where they asked where would you travel internationally first, where everyone was saying Israel and international places, and he said, I would travel nowhere besides New York. It's international enough. And I think that resonated with a lot of people, because why waste more money internationally when we're a hot mess here in the United States?
There's plenty of stuff to see in America, but if you're dying to go international, your best first trip is to go to London, then take the channel over to Paris, and come home from Paris. First international trip, that's what I would do.
And I think Eileen said something very important, but I'm equally saying, if the big gun is saying they are holding funds there because they have elected somebody, what does that tell the whole world? And then how does that say? That's already telling the whole world that all the resources that are they will hold it so that he should fail. You cannot be telling the whole world that you are going to make this guy fail, and then they already expect him that it is an uphill, because if they are withholding such amount of money, 18 billions, you cannot run a city without the help of the central power.
So Fru brought up something which I see as a divide. I was reading Jean-Pierre's book last evening, a couple of pages, and she was making this strong pitch that the press was supporting the Republicans, which was a bit of a surprise to me because when I think of the press, I think of the press as being anti-Donald Trump, anti-Republican, and pro-Democrat. So did the press give Mayor-elect McDonough a fair shake or not?
Well, I mean, from what you're saying, the press being anti-Republican, I think because Trump is such a strong personality, the Republicans are caught up in the wake of anything that he does. So they're collateral. If the media doesn't like Trump, then they're collateral along with it. But it's politics. They're gonna use whatever they can to get elected and be involved. New York City is expensive to live in, and right now the middle class and the poverty level are exploding as far as affordability. So we got to see what he can do. But I'm telling you, the rich people, if he thinks he's going to tax them more and add more taxes on, he's in fantasy land, because they can just up and move to Florida or Texas or wherever else they want to go and say, see ya, New York. So if he says he's going to take more of their money, they're just going to leave. And the New York Stock Exchange, which is iconic in New York, it may not be there in 5-10 years just because of the cost of everything. They can move to Florida. They can move any place else now. With the internet and electronic digital stuff, people can just get up and move.
Well, Cliff, if you talk about that the Republican, the thing is the media have used that to think that the American people are foolish. If you look at the nationwide, the election was not only in New York, even though we don't talk about that because it is our own, it is against what we thought it was going to become. Mike, to what you are saying, all what we are saying affects but the poor. The rich can adapt everywhere. They are already in Florida. They are the ones who make the decision. Whatever you are saying, or whatever any mayor cannot drive a rich person to go wherever he has not gone before. This is what makes you scare the poor. Okay? The poor are the ones who can, if there is something that's coming for the poor, people will make this to magnify it. The rich are already everywhere. They have choices.
No, I agree with you, Fru. That's the point I was making.
Hold it, boys.
That's the point I was making. Mandami is saying that I'm going to add more taxes onto the rich.
Cliff, I got to read these texts, so get these guys to stop talking.
They can't move. They don't have the resources to just get up and go someplace else. So, yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Fru, on that.
I'm going to read these texts now. DJ Cisco. I have to agree with John, even though he may not be the smartest person in the room. After witnessing the citizens of New York vote in a communist, I guess they forgot 9/11. The news is starting to put the spin on the midterms. Okay. New York is so bad right now, Buffalo just lost their third game of the season. Okay. And I'll tell you this, the New York media is already saying how public schools are socialist. It's socialism in action. That's what the New York media is broadcasting on their local television station. Any of you guys agree with that the public schools are socialism?
Tell me any country in the world that survived without socialism. When the world market collapses, what happens? The government comes in and bails it. What do you call that? When the housing bubble happens, what happens?
Fru, let me just put this into your ear, okay? At work, when you work overtime, if they didn't pay you extra, most people wouldn't stay. At my workplace, I work overtime. My bonus is going to be bigger because I made my company better. The people in management don't get bonuses, don't get overtime, they get bonuses. So at a workplace for socialism, nobody gets a bonus, nobody gets overtime. We all get paid the same.
You didn't answer my question, John.
I didn't hear your question.
Is,
You're saying socialism is all over the world, and I just disagree. Go ahead, I'll shut up.
I said, show me any government who does not practice socialism. When the Wall Street goes belly up, the market goes. Who comes in and remedy them? Who are the big people who cause that? They are the rich. When it is to favor the rich, socialism is not good. It is very good. When it is looking after the poor, we the poor, we beat the drums against our own interests. We cannot be biting.
Fru, you're not poor. Don't tell me you're poor. You're not poor.
I think that the difference here is not whether or not the government's going to bail someone out. They have for thousands of years. But do you think capitalism is an engine of improving people's situation, or do you think that capitalism is just theft from the poor? And Mr. Mahoney has stated in the past that he thinks capitalism is theft. Myself, I think capitalism is a way of making everyone a little bit better off. I mean, is that a fair statement?
No, it's not.
I'm in between.
No, it's not. Okay, I got these two texts I'm going to read to you. And it said, the New York is definitely messed up. The Jets just won 2 in a row. The Republican Jewish coalition last week didn't do themselves any favors. It may have lost Lindsey Graham his primary. Trump should distance himself from that moron. That's from Bart. Back to you guys. Thank you for your patience.
Okie doke. I wanted to talk about, because it gets little mention in this country, but there's a campaign to make Guam the 51st state. And I sent John a map to show where Guam is. It's where America's day begins. John, do you have that map?
I'm going to go pull it out right now, Cliff.
All right.
Well, you probably have it on your end. You could probably show it too.
Might be able to. Let's see if...
does he have permission to share screen though, John? He may need that.
I'm just pegging Cliff because what Cliff does, you got that slide? Cliff, I could ask Cliff to show me something that's 2 days old and he doesn't have it. Okay, Cliff.
John?
There's your map. Your map's up now.
Okay. There we go. And that's Guam. Actually, Guam is about 3,000 miles west of Hawaii. And I've been to Guam a couple times.
Well, Cliff, let me ask you this question. Is Guam bigger or smaller than Vermont?
Smaller than Vermont.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I heard a bunch of answers. I just want to hear from Cliff. Cliff, is smaller than Vermont. Is it smaller than Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Is it smaller than Rhode Island?
Yeah. Mezzo.
Oh, God. So we must have a bunch of Republicans sitting there.
What's the population?
I'm going to guess they're all Republicans since Cliff's pushing this one.
And what are they leaning? What is their? What are they leaning? Are they Republican or Democrats? Those are things that you consider to see why they are being pushed.
It's highly military, I know that. One of my good friends from UNLV was from Guam. I want to say the majority of people there are military. But the way it looks on that screen, it just looks like it would be bigger than Vermont, I guess. And that's why.
It's because that's the map of California.
Yeah, it looks like California. That's what I wanted to say.
But it's about the size of Rhode Island.
But that's California, John.
Yes.
So this is the California map? This isn't Guam?
No.
Guam should be in the islands. There.
Well, that's what you sent me? Oh, Clifford, I don't know what I'm going to do with you. Send me, I'll go look for Guam. Sorry, kids, I really thought that was Guam. I had no idea.
Yeah, I sent it to you from a different place.
Oh, here's Guam. Oh, it doesn't want to do what I want it to do. It's coming at the speed of government. All right. Guam's going to be coming to your screen shortly. All righty, there it is. Thoughts?
That's it. I was the Air Defense Commander of Guam for a year, so maybe it means more to me than other people.
Look at this, the Navy's there. Is that the U.S. Navy?
Yes.
The Army's there. It's not the Army of Guam, is it?
No. Although there is a Guam National Guard.
Oh, here is the birthday boys, the Marine Corps. Just to remind the audience, it's the 250th birthday of the U.S. Marine Corps today. So congratulations, U.S. Marines. And there's the mighty Air Force. Cliff was in charge of Anderson Air Force Base.
No.
You were in charge of popcorn there? What did you do there?
I was the Air Defense Commander.
Thank you, Commander.
I had a radar site and the promise they would deploy F-15s from the Hawaiian National Guard to fly intercept missions.
Did you get them?
Never needed them.
Okay, so here we are in Seoul, South Korea's here. Guam, Honolulu, Los Angeles. So why do we need Guam, Cliff? It's halfway to China?
It's strategic.
Yeah. It is a U.S. territory today, just like Puerto Rico.
How come it's not part of the map?
What do you mean part of the map?
Part of our, Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory,
Yeah.
right? You don't see Guam there.
Well, I don't know what to say.
I think you have to call the map people.
Do they need a visa to come into the U.S., the people of Guam?
Right. They're U.S. citizens, just like everybody else.
Okay.
What percent of Guam is military?
Just a minute, Cliff. Do they pay U.S. income tax?
Yes.
Wow, that's a biggie. That is biggie.
So
What's the percent of people who live in Guam that are military?
I don't know, but if I was going to make a guess, I'd say 10%.
Really?
So what, like in Lowell, we're called Lowellians. If you live in Guam, what do you call?
Guamanian.
They're Guamanians.
A Guamanian.
Guamanian, which some people, yes, my sister's boyfriend is Guamanian because his father was in the military in Guam.
Is he American or Guamanian?
American.
Okay, so he's not Guamanian.
So, John, you're not from Massachusetts. You're not a Llewellyn?
I am a Llewellyn, yes.
So you're not an American?
I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Tell me what I am, Cliff.
If you're a Guamanian, you're an American.
I'm not.
Just like if you're
No,
Puerto
it seems
Rican, you're American.
Eileen's sister's boyfriend's trying to slide over to being a Guamanian.
I got no comment here because this is getting deep.
Yeah, it's a family battle. Let's stay out of family.
All right. I'm in favor of making Guam the 51st state.
Hey, we only got 5 minutes. We only got 5 minutes left. Fru, you got anything you want to get off your chest before you got to go to real work? You poor fellow. Cliff being the poor fellow that he professes to be. No, I'm sorry, Fru. Fru,
Yes.
you're almost out of time. Anything you want to put out there?
Well, that has been a very enlightening discussion. Not much, and I just hope that we leave our party affiliations behind and talk American issues.
All right, well, Fru, before you go, I have a question for you. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Vanilla.
Okay. Eileen, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate.
And Mike, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
I like Rocky Road or something like that. It's got chocolate in there. It's got vanilla. It's got nuts. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in it.
Clifford, what's your favorite ice cream?
Chocolate from Gary's.
Chocolate, okay. I like the peanut butter at Gary's. That's my current favorite. I just picked up some coconut. I'll have a ruling on coconut later on this week. But right now, I love his peanut butter ice cream. Oh, it's nice stuff. So if you make it out to the Chelmsford Creamery, get that peanut butter stuff. You might like it. So, Fru, you have a good week. Don't work too hard and keep smiling.
Let's stay healthy, all of us, and wish for the better.
Yes.
And get him a gallon of vanilla.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a good week.
Thanks, Fru.
Bye, Fru.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mike.
Bye.
So, look, we got 3 minutes to blow here. Anything you want to... I didn't see the paper over the weekend. I was off frolicking with my family doing unimportant things, but nonetheless, we did a lot of stuff.
Well, the paper did have a item on the fact that Chelmsford is going to do a sweep of the homeless camp up on Drum Hill. And the question is, where are they going to go next? Apparently they're coming back to Lowell.
Yeah, there's already, I noticed some homeless right off of exit 4, right there off the connector where Target is, in there, in
Yep.
that wooded area there, and I heard they're just moving a little further up from Jay's.
No, but it's time they all be housed. It's coming into freezing season, and these poor people, many of them are mentally ill, and they need to be forcibly housed for the winter. Otherwise, they're going to freeze to death. To leave them out in the cold, now is the time. Chester's doing the right thing. Bust them, send them out to Barica for the summer if they can, and if the judge lets them squeak out, let it lay on the judge.
Well, I think that that's a factor. Judges and district attorneys are not sending people to jail as much as they used to because we're being nicer to them. by letting them stay out in the cold.
I got some texts that won't come through, so I'm going to read them to you. I don't know what's the matter with the old texter on a Monday, but Turkey Hill peanut butter cup. Jay loves that. Mortgage companies are floating the idea of 50-year mortgages. Good or bad idea? A good idea. The sooner you can buy a house, the sooner you have equity, the richer you're going to be. And you guys have 10 seconds.
All right. So we'll see you all on the flip side here in a couple of minutes. Thank you.
I'll put the music up. And you guys have 10 seconds. Okay.
All right. So we'll see you all on the flip side here in a couple of minutes.
Olive Garden tomorrow night for the dinner club, huh?
That's the plan, you go?
Yeah, Anthony's favorite place.
I hope we get out to the private room.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Just gonna get the webcam up here. We're already at 7 o'clock out right now. Lovely roll. Good to go, bud?
Yep.
Yeah. You're on.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the City Life Show. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. I'm joined by Eileen Delrossi. How are you, Eileen?
Good morning, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Is it raining up there on Christian Hill?
Yes, it is.
Oh, great. And we have Mike Smith. Is it raining down there in Florida, Mike?
No, it rained yesterday, but today is not supposed to have any rain.
Oh. And we have our producer, John McDonough. And as we could see during the break, it's raining over there in the center of the universe on High Street.
It's actually Highland Street in Belvedere Village.
You're right. It's not the High Street. Okay. So, looking at Lowell, will there be a recount? It's got to be requested by Dan Finn.
Within 10 business days.
Yep.
So 5 will have gone by on Wednesday.
Yep.
Anybody seen Dan Finn?
No. I'm betting no recount. So, Eileen, with education being so important...
Hey, wait, Cliff. I got one delayed response here about ice cream. This is from Bart. John, a lot of ice cream you buy at the grocery store is labeled frozen dairy dessert. I like the ice cream butter better than the frozen thing. But I only go to I'm a consumer. Whatever my wife puts on the table, or if I go to your house, whatever you put on the table, I'm going to eat. But if I personally go get ice cream, I'm going to Gary's. I go to the Chelmsford Creamery because Gary's a friend of mine. So I don't know the ice cream you're talking about. Maybe we have that at the beach. But good point. Back to you, Cliff.
Yeah, John, you bring up a good point there. it may be variable. For instance, if I go to a restaurant, I get a scoop of vanilla ice cream soaked in Hershey's sauce. And then I sort of make my own chocolate ice cream. But if I'm getting a cone, I'm getting a chocolate ice cream cone.
Makes a lot of sense.
Well, I used to do that. I was always it was always vanilla. Then I used to do a radio show with Gary Francis. And we used to do it right in his ice cream shop in downtown Lowell. So I would have a different flavor every day. So I then switched to maple walnut because I had that luxury of trying something every day. And now my wife says, well, why don't you take a look and see what Gary's got available and pick something different? So Gary talked me into having pumpkin something or other ice cream. And not my cup of tea. I had that last week. And then I tried this peanut butter stuff, and I loved it. So I would just suggest to you, while Gary's is open, to consider trying a different flavor. Take a good, what I do is I take a picture with my phone of all the flavors that are available, and I ponder each one. I know it's more time than you usually spend on ice cream, but when it finally does get in your mouth, you go like, it was worth all that pondering. Thoughts?
I appreciate your process.
Okay. Good to
I'm
hear.
just trying to simplify.
So, Cliff, you're never going to get off of chocolate.
No.
So you're going to get up the pearly gates, and the angel Gabriel's going to say, Cliff, you never tried Rocky Road? What the hell's the matter with you?
I tried Rocky Road.
Oh, okay.
Back when I was like 12.
Oh, it's a different Rocky Road today.
So,
There were pebbles in it back when you were a kid. There were really rocks in it.
we'll pass over where the rocks are. Eileen, education seems like a really hot topic, and yet nobody ran against you district school committee members. What's the story? I mean, to me, it's a dichotomy.
Define dichotomy for me.
No.
It's the intelligence of the superior intelligence of Delrossi. That's why this, you know what? I can't run against Eileen. She's superiorly intelligent.
Things that are, oh yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's, I'm torn between that and do people really even care? I guess, right? And that's the sad part, is that I feel like I'm invested. After a few years, like I can almost see why Connie and Jackie like have been a part of it for so long. You kind of get this strange type of like, I want to see what my contributions have led to, right? And it's a process over time, and now it's, you know, I want to see Lowell become better. I'm invested because even though my child no longer attends a school in Lowell, he's still a Lowell Public School student, and I've had to work with him, work with Lowell Public Schools in other ways. And it's all about doing the right thing for the students. But it's hard because parents are upset, right? And so if we can take those parent issues and complaints and really bring them forward and get more of an interest. But a lot of people just, it's a lot of work to run for office. Even getting those 150 signatures are more difficult than anyone would think. And then having a campaign and setting everything up, it's intense.
Okay, Jay does not want us to forget. Remember the ice cream bar's Nancy Pelosi's fancy fridge. Top of the line stuff. Thanks for the reminder, Jay. We do like our ice cream here.
You know who has a great brand too of ice cream is Van Heusen, you see it in some of the market baskets in Hannaford's. I highly recommend you trying your favorite flavor of Van Heusen's.
So, someone brought up Nancy Pelosi. Do we see where she's decided not to run it for another term?
Well, the people in San Francisco are down on bended knee asking her to reconsider. The same people who were down on bended knee for Marty Mann begging him to run past what he promised he'd run for. They moved to California and are now homeless.
Yeah.
It ain't over till it's over.
I mean, it's not a surprise Nancy Pelosi is not running again. Was she, 82?
80, she'll be 86 next year.
Oh, 86. Okay, so 86. And she doesn't have the leverage in the party like she had before. It doesn't look like possibly, even if the Democrats took control of the House, that she could get back the Speaker's position. So, she's decided that it's time to do other things. That's why I think there should be term limits, because you don't want people just hanging on, whether it's Democrats or Republicans. You want people that are going to be there and get things done. Term limits, I think, would force that to happen better than it is now.
For the record, Nancy Pelosi, the ice cream lover that she is 85.
Wow.
Yeah. So, we, the citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, voted to eliminate MCAS as a graduation requirement.
We're going to need something to replace it, Cliff. What do you want to replace it with? I understand it stands until, but Eileen is the dictator here. I understand it stands until we replace it with something. Is that true, Eileen?
Yeah, every school district is still taking it. All that's like the stress and all the reasons that teachers did not want to teach to a test. It's still happening every year like it always did. And no matter what, a teacher and a student are still kind of measured against that. So, like that People's Forum that I went to on Thursday night was all about what other ways can we make sure our kids are ready to graduate, and how can we hold them accountable, and what do we want to see?
I want to take a pause here for just a second. John said that the MCAS is the requirement until it's replaced. That was not my understanding. My understanding was that the MCAS is not a requirement.
So, all right, it's not a graduation.
Hey guys, I have to run out and see if we're on. Lowell, I'll be back, so behave. Thanks.
All right, it's not a graduation requirement any longer, but it's still an assessment requirement until it is actually replaced.
Okay. And only this year are we getting to where we get the full MCAS, right?
Only this year?
Yeah, we weren't doing civics before.
Civics has always been on the 8th grade MCAS.
Huh.
Yeah, that's why civics is such a huge project in middle school, and Lowell has so much going on around the area of civics and issues, human issues and so forth, that a lot of middle schoolers reach out to elected officials for and so forth. Yeah. So it's interesting because, like, when I heard MCAS even last year, I was like, why are we doing this if we just voted not to have this? But yeah, we still need some type of measure of accountability. We can't just, I guess it's kind of the reverse too. Like, the people voted to not have it in, but it's our only measure of accountability in the state, so we can't really not do it, but what else are we going to do in the meantime? And until something else is established and written, documented, then we're still going to do MCAS, unfortunately.
Yeah. Do we need something that's common across the Commonwealth?
I think, we need to make sure that our kids can read, write, and speak. And that's what we're missing in all of this. I think it was Dave Conway that said that in my group. We're graduating kids that can't read. We're graduating kids that can't write. Or they don't know how to articulate themselves. And that's an issue. If we can cover those three in some way, shape, or form through some sort of portfolio review or so forth, you can understand what you're reading. You can then, after understanding what you're reading, then write a few sentences about what you're reading, and then you can then articulate what you've read and how you've interpreted it and why, stating back to the evidence. I think that's important. But going back to those basics, it doesn't make Massachusetts look as good as they think Massachusetts looks with the MCAS, I don't think. And Massachusetts is really not doing well at the end of the day.
So, Mike, as long as I can remember back, New York State has been doing the Regents, right?
Oh yeah, I had to take Regents exams when I was in high school. They have a Regents diploma. They changed it that you have to pass certain exams now to get a high school degree. Yeah, they've had those Regents exams for over 50 years. And they used to have a high school diploma and then a Regents high school diploma. But they've changed things now where they want you to score minimum scores. But their passing on some of these tests is only a 60 out of 100. So it's not the same as when I went to school. And to get a Regents exam when I went to school, Regents diploma, you had to pass, I think you had to pass all your Regents exams in order to get that Regents diploma. You had to have a passing score in all of them.
What are the Regents exam, what is it made up of, Mike?
It's put out by the State of New York Department of Education, and based on the curriculum, it's a timed exam, and you have to answer the questions. Most of them are multiple choice. When you get into the English exam or some of the other exams, you have to write essays or answer questions more than just one word. So, I took the math exams each year, took English exams. They didn't have Regents every year you were in high school. It was more your junior and senior year that you had to start taking more of the Regents exams. So I can say that the first year in high school, in 9th grade, I took the algebra one, and I did get 100 on it. So, so that was my thing for math.
Good job.
We had a we had a Christian brother. I went to a Catholic high school, and we were in the advanced class because when you took the entrance exam to go to high school, they put you in different classes. And he came in the first day. He says, I am going to teach you how to know the stuff you need to know for algebra. So when you take the Regents exam, and I expect everybody in this class to get 100. There was no I expect everybody to pass. The expectation is, he says, I expected everybody to get 100. So that put a lot of pressure on people.
Well, see, I don't think Massachusetts does do a good job of that, and I don't think all the different Massachusetts math curriculums really align 100% with the MCAS like it should, really, right? And then you run into the snag of where all your students are on different levels and you kind of have to pull back a little. So like if it was more upfront like that, but what are we aligning this MCAS towards anyway? Like it's not towards our everyday teaching and our routines, right? And what we're basically learning, but an overall concept that they want you to know, that we're reading a story about theme and what's the overall theme, those bigger concepts, right? But so we're teaching it, but we're not really defining it for the students all the time.
Yeah, and when I went to high school, when you applied for college from New York, especially if you're going to a college in New York, they looked at what you got, your scores on those Regents exams. You put that into the mix of whether they're going to accept you or not. So because those are standardized exams, and outside of New York, they didn't take that into account as much. But if you were going to go to a college in New York State, they did look at what you did on the Regents exams.
Right. And I do feel like it should be all connected, right? And so I know there are some scholarships for students who do very well on the MCAS, but how are we, again, is that just a good test taker, or how are we connecting it with our curriculum? Are you able to retain it? And that, I think, would be important for your college to know that you're able to learn and then express what you learned back out in a test form. And here, I don't think we have enough of those rewarding factors for students. Like if it's going to connect, make it connect to everything. And make it connect to, you'd be great at this school if you did well in this area, right? And you'd be great at this school if you did well in this area on the MCAS. Make it more applicable, and it's just not.
The audience seems to really love ice cream. This message is from Bart and says, my old man in his mid-90s eats ice cream by the gallon. He never used to eat sweets, as he called it, until about 10 or 12 years ago. What's this phenomenon with the elderly and their huge consumption of sweets? Cliff being the smartest and oldest person in the room. Any truth to that, Cliff?
Yeah, we're looking for something for energy.
So you think ice cream gives you energy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're too tired to cook a full meal, so you just want something sweet to keep you going?
Or a Hershey bar.
I look at it more that you've gone without things for years because you were busy working and taking the kids and a whole bunch of other things. Now, when you retire and you're older, it's like, yeah, I deserve it, so I'm going to have it.
Well, Mike, you live in old man land down there in Florida. Is ice cream very popular down there?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of places for ice cream down here. People go to different shops and that. So it's, I love desserts. So my saying is always, I'll have dessert first because then you always have room for dessert. So I don't have a problem with ice cream at all. So.
Have you always been that way or just since you became a Floridian?
No, I've been that way for a long time with desserts. I always liked them. I've always told people that if you eat dessert first, you always have room for dessert. So.
I like that theory, Mike.
Back over to Cliff.
So Eileen, I've heard these complaints that the problem with the MCAS is the teachers are teaching to the MCAS. But shouldn't the MCAS be covering the topics that the teachers should be teaching to anyway?
Okay. Yes, that's a kind of a deep question because you would think that's the overall purpose and why the states and the districts pay all these millions and thousands of dollars for all of these programs that are supposed to link to the MCAS. But then again, they're asking our kids, our students, to have this higher cognitive thinking bracket that They can then go take an MCAS months later after learning certain concepts and be able to decipher what overall core lesson was taught. You know what I mean? So it's not clear. I would say in Massachusetts, it's just not clearly defined. It's not like, oh, this is about that story we all read in Massachusetts, pick any story, like, I'm going to just say Diary of a Wimpy Kid, because that just is the first one. Like, the whole state should be required to read that, and then it should be on the MCAS. But it's not. They'll give you a passage and question you in the classroom and guide you through it, and a completely different passage and question you and not guide you through it. And so the ability to, like, pull back instruction and have students do things independently, it's so different today because of the curriculums, but then you're given the MCAS and expected to complete it all on your own. And that's where the issue I believe is, and that our students aren't at that higher cognitive level that the MCAS requires you to be at. It's not a direct, we're testing you on times tables, right? We're questioning you on compound words in reading, and we're testing you on compound words in spelling, or we're testing you on addition facts, subtraction facts. We're testing you right now on comprehension. I even think if they labeled that more clearly, it would make a difference.
Okay, Jay seems to think about the elderly eating ice cream. Could be their last meal, so I'm guessing they don't want it to be prunes. That's from Jay. Thanks, Jay.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I think, Eileen, if I'm trying to understand what you're saying is, and I always talk to my brother who worked in college, but he said that knowing how to take tests is not the most important thing. He says critical thinking skills is the most important thing. Because with critical thinking skills, you learn how to understand and adapt to things and look at the bigger picture. And I don't know if we have enough of that. Because when you go and get a job or you're working at different things, you have to have critical thinking skills to understand what's going on.
No, and I think you just definitely hit the nail on the head. Is that the saying? The critical thinking skills to be able to decipher. Our students haven't developed because we're trying to shove all these concepts down their throats in order to align with the MCAS first, and we're not developing their skills to critically think. Yes.
Yeah, I'll give you an example of why critical thinking skills are important. So when my son was graduating from high school, he ended up taking the SATs, and my brother, who was vice president of the college, gave him a book on the SATs, and he did really well on them. So my brother and I were asking him what he did to study for it. And he said, did you take the tests in the book and all that? He says, no, I didn't take any of the tests. And it kind of shocked us. And he goes, no, I just read the part on how the test is devised and understand how to make the best choice if you're not sure about something, so that I could get a good score on the test. So again, that's critical thinking skills, Right. So yeah. I don't think we don't get that ingrained in our students enough. I don't see that being ingrained in students. Just memorize these times tables, memorize these answers, instead of trying to get them to use their brain to look at things from a different perspective.
But I think that speaks to a lot. Like, we're not even memorizing times tables before we're introducing problems with word problems. Now we're introducing multiplication word problems with key words like each and so forth, and then expecting our students to draw pictures and then figure it out without giving them that concrete model of here's your ones tables, here are your two tables, here are your three tables. We're not showing them that first anymore. We're introducing all these heavy language-based activities that, like, if I didn't know multiplication before I even started teaching these curriculums, I would think they were trying to teach me in a foreign language, right? Because it just...
You're talking about the foundation, but I think more of that is, like when I went to school, okay, and, you learned your times tables. Every day, you had a list of words for spelling, and you had to go and learn those words, and you'd get tested on that.
On Friday.
Yeah, and so you got that foundation to understand how to, how words are pronounced or how they're spelled, how math works. Those things, you had a foundation so that you can't go from step A to step J, in one day. You got to go to step A, B, C, you got to be able to do that. And you build on each step. So, and that's what employers, and that's why I'm concerned about this, because in jobs today, employers are looking at critical thinking skills more than that you could memorize something. That you've got to be able to be flexible and adaptable and be able to do things. And it doesn't matter whether you're working at Walmart, as a cashier, or you're working as a NASA space engineer. But you still got to be adaptable and understand how to learn new things. And I don't think we get that across to students as much as we used to.
Hey guys, I'm going to... my microphone died. Hello? Yeah, I'm still there. Okay, so I'm going to do these announcements quick. So, I don't know what happened to my first one. Let's see if we can get him up there. Okay, this coming up this week is going to be Hope Dove Community Holiday Drive, Saturday, November 15th, down at 10 Kirk Street at 10 until noontime. They're looking for food, all kinds of good stuff, so take that fancy phone out of your pocket and bring it over to your TV set and take a picture of this. Let's see if I can find where Zoom is over here. There we go, okay. So take a picture of this guy and it'll tell you what you might want to bring down to this coming Saturday. Now today being the 10th, it's November 10th, so if you're out in charming Chelmsford today, you're going to have chicken pot pie, you're going to have with potato, mixed vegetables, and fruit. Sounds good. Tomorrow, there's no food at the Chelmsford Senior Center because it's Veterans Day. By the way, we're having a live show tomorrow, just FYI. Today, out in delightful Dracut, you got chicken pot pie, chicken, peas, and carrots, mashed potatoes, dinner, roll, and gelatin. Tomorrow, no food at the Senior Center. In Tewksbury, I'll just shrink this, slide it up on the screen here. There we go. Tewksbury, we're going to have today's 10th, chicken pot pie. Chicken pot pie all over the valley today. And yummy time. Tomorrow, no meal at the Senior Center. Veterans Day. And the last announcement of the day. Today is the 10th. In a lovely Lowell, Massachusetts, if you don't like chicken pot pie, you want to scoot over to Lowell Senior Center, and you're going to get yourself a Salisbury steak with potato. And tomorrow, there's no food at the Senior Center. And my last announcement is if you have a tattered flag that you want to retire, bring it to Lowell City Hall, bring it inside, and top of the stairs, just outside the city clerk's office, you see this beautiful steel box. Slide your flag right in there, and they'll give it a going away respectfully. So that's it. Going back to you, Cliff. Let me close this window. Back to you, Cliff. Thanks.
Okie doke. Eileen, I've heard people say that in school they don't teach truth anymore. That everything's relative.
That's the United States of America. We make up fairy tales.
Well, I think what John is saying is right. The truth is now deciphered by people to what they want it to be. And so depending on who your teachers are and what their stance is in life, that's the truth that you're going to receive. And with the curriculum being so vast with the wording for each theme, each grade, that can be allowed. And so in some cases you have truth, some cases you have deciphered truth. And so if the
don't forget fairy tale.
Yeah, I mean, it's you're depending on that teacher's background and their own experiences to interpret our history correctly, right? And then to teach it to our own students. And I feel like in today's society, our schools are giving that credence and that freedom, and in a sense misinterpreting what the actual facts of history are, and that's where it becomes blurred.
Well, I think it all stems from the media wordsmithing everything out there. They're not going to say Dick Cheney died. No, we're going to word it nicer. He passed. No, find a better. No. Don't say passed. Well, what's a good word to say? We don't want to frighten the public. They might be mentally scarred. How do we tell people that Cheney's dead? And and the media wrestles with how they're going to present this. Some may be shocked. Please sit down. Shocking news ahead. How often do we hear that in the media? I just think it's something we should consider when we hear in the upper echelons of government, the upper echelons in management of a small and large company. They don't want to tell the truth. What do we tell our customers? What do we tell them? And it's usually a fairy tale. Thoughts, Cliff?
Well, I don't see how we can effectively run a government like we have in the United States if we don't have some basic understanding of what has happened, relationships, what is progress, what is regression.
Well, our government shut down, right? So we're not effectively doing anything right now.
Well, we actually are. And we have a process, and we're working through that process. But do people have confidence in the Congress? Are students in school taught to have confidence that the discussion, the dialogue, is important and it helps us to move forward? I mean,
I think that is where the lines get blurred, because students don't look at discussions as progress. They look at it like, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right. And again, that's where it gets difficult.
Well, no, I think the media is to blame here. Will we let our elected leaders come to a news conference and say nothing? Like the Texas sidestep is the best example of that. The late, great Bill Topia brought that to light. I'm never going to forget it. That a politician will come to the microphone with a big smile, give you a song and dance, and he can say, what did the politician just say? Nothing. They gave you a big bowl of nut and honey. And not one person asked him a question. And they're always in a rush. I have to get going. No, you don't. You're speaking to your bosses. Don't you understand? We're the people who vote for you. Why don't you make time to sit there and answer our question? Everything you say, oh yeah, Senator Madam So-so is going to be on News Center 11 tonight. She's going to have a real big quiz. She has scripted questions that are being asked of her, and they're only going to ask those questions. It's pre-recorded. Why do we accept this stuff? I don't want to see a pre-recorded interview. Thoughts, Cliff?
Did you see where the top two people at the BBC had to resign over the weekend?
Yep, they edited a speech.
Yeah, because they were messing with that specific issue.
Well, wait till AI starts the interviews.
The what?
Wait till AI starts the interviews. When you look at these AI videos that are coming out today, and these are nothing compared to the future, you can't tell that person's fake. Sliding everything aside, has anybody seen anything good on Netflix? Cliff, you got Netflix?
Netflix?
Okay, Mike, I'm going to guess he doesn't. Mike, you got Netflix?
Well, we have Netflix, yes.
Seen anything good lately?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, John.
Have you seen anything good on Netflix? I'm looking for suggestions to tell the audience what they can watch on Netflix.
Netflix just seems, I was on it yesterday checking stuff up, and I haven't seen anything really new that interested me. They've got all the same stuff they've had on for a while. I didn't see anything I really wanted to watch at all.
Have you seen The Diplomat?
What was that again?
Have you seen The Diplomat?
The Diplomat, no. Is it a movie or series?
It's a series.
No, I'll have to go and see.
Pretty cool. Eileen, you see anything good on Netflix, or you don't do Netflix?
I was doing Netflix for a while, but I've sauntered over to Paramount Plus.
What are you seeing over there?
Mayor of Kingston. Have any of you heard of that? So good.
I have not heard. I'm looking for Tulsa King.
Oh yeah, that's on Paramount Plus also.
Well, my wife and my sister-in-law seem to love that show, and I want to see how we get. It's only on Paramount Plus. It's not going to be on regular TV.
I want to say it's on Prime also.
But not regular TV. Okay.
And they also did a spin-off of Blue Bloods with Johnny Wahlberg. They did Boston Blue, and I think that's on CBS, or I'm pretty sure. And it's kind of like the Blue Bloods of New York transferred over to Boston with Johnny Wahlberg's son on the show.
That's on regular TV. That's on regular TV.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, well, if anybody's out there, there's a little bit of nudity, maybe a little bit more sex than you'd think that happens in Washington, D.C., but we enjoyed The Diplomat. We just finished it, and it was good. The two words put together, The Diplomat, on Netflix.
Yeah, and I put a disclaimer on Mayor of Kingstown too, because there's a lot going on there too. No kids for that one.
Yeah. So can we, Cliff? I see it brought up. Can we talk a little bit about for tomorrow before we run out of time for Veterans Day tomorrow?
Sure.
So we are doing tomorrow. There's a ceremony and a service at our clubhouse. They're going to honor a few veterans, I think, from the Vietnam or Korean War. They always, every year, pick a couple people and give a little history on them, what they did and what kind of service they gave. We had one for earlier this year. Also, we had one for people that are still missing in action. So we had a service for that too. So it's usually a pretty good outing. for everybody. They have pretty large attendance, and most of the legions around here do something on Veterans Day. I just wanted to make sure that we mentioned our service people and give them respect. My dad was in the Korean War during on the USS Hornet on an aircraft carrier. He worked as a communications specialist. So, and then his last year in the Navy, he was down in San Diego. That was a tough assignment.
Up here in lovely Lowell, Mike.
He was on shore patrol for his last year in the Navy. And I asked him when I got older, I said, so you're on shore patrol, isn't that like military police for the Navy? He goes, yeah. I said, so what was your job, when you did that? And he says, well, we went around and make sure people didn't cause problems. And I said, so if you went into a bar and there were people in the Navy causing problems, what would happen? And he goes, well, he says, we'd ask them to stop once. And then if they didn't, I carried a billy club with me. So I thought I'd share that little story with everybody today.
That's the way it should be, Mike. Okay, so coming from the audience referring to the BBC, a dismissal of the retire, they quit. Everyone's been saying for years that President Trump told them peacefully protest, and that's what is rumored to be cut out of the BBC broadcast, that President Trump told them to peacefully protest. Is that your take, Cliff?
Yeah.
And
it's not just a take. I mean, they've got video of him saying it, so.
I know, but the BBC edited that video out.
Okay.
We are seeing some changes. Barry Weiss got hired into, NBC, CBS, and she's cleaning house. People are leaving. I think that the media has seen a little bit of a turnaround. Talking to Mike's point about Veterans Day, used to be Armistice Day, Lowell's having an event at 11 o'clock today. There'll be a couple speakers. It'll be at the Memorial Auditorium.
Cliff, isn't it a little bit of an oxymoron, okay? The holiday, if this were tomorrow, people who have a job could go to this tomorrow. But since the city treats it as it's a holiday, so we don't work on a holiday, isn't it why are they having this, why didn't they have it Saturday when people could have went?
I have no idea.
It's very puzzling to me why the city does this stuff. Who's going to go to this thing tomorrow? City employees do go because they're on the clock. Oh, I'm going down to the veterans thing. I'm going down to goof off. If the veterans thing was tomorrow, they wouldn't show.
There's probably a lot of people that could attend.
Patriotism.
There's a lot of people, John, that could attend things. I mean, the schools are closed. The banks are closed.
No, tomorrow, Mike. Tomorrow.
Closed.
Are you having your veteran service tomorrow or today?
No, I'm having it tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, we're having it tomorrow.
The city of Lowell's having their veteran services today.
That's just stupid. So I'll just say it the way
Oh my God!
it is.
You say the S word.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, it's because they're having it today because they have off tomorrow, and they didn't want to come in and do something on their day off. So,
Mike, it's all about he's surrounded by kiss asses, and he can't. The city manager can't sit down because he has blisters on his ass. It's not right that we're not honoring Veterans Day on Veterans Day. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
And speaking of Veterans Day, we're going to do a live show tomorrow, and so we'll be here on City Life.
I mean, that's almost like honoring Christmas the day before Christmas, so.
Well, they do that in Lowell, too.
Oh, geez. All right. Now, they don't do that down here, so.
I'm just happy to see that they're making an effort to do something.
Cliff, it's a goof-off. It's a goof-off party. Are you kidding me?
I'm not goofing off.
It's a goof-off party for City Hall.
Well, they basically get 2 days of not having to do anything. Is that what you're saying, John?
I'm going to the veterans thing, and by the time that gets over, I'm just going to go home. I'm not going to come back here.
So, who participates?
The city manager will be there. Yes.
The mayor will be there. Eric Marsh will be there.
Eric LaMarche wouldn't be there tomorrow.
Oh yeah, students from Lowell Public Schools will be there because they're doing a presentation. They did some art presentations. So that
Presentation of colors.
well, I'm sure the presentation of colors will be there, but I know Michael Peoples had reached out to people on the school committee about Michael Peoples is on the board of...
Well, Eileen, I got to ask you, what does this teach the school children? What are we celebrating today? We're celebrating tomorrow. We're not going to be here tomorrow for Veterans Day, so we're going to honor it today. Is that what we're teaching the kids? We can't be bothered to honor Veterans Day on Veterans Day? I think it's a disappointment to the veterans.
Well, I guess that makes a good point. When did we start celebrating Veterans Day in the United States of America?
After World War II, I think. Cliff would be better about that than me. I'll ask
It used to be Armistice Day. That's why it's 11 November. So we've been celebrating something since World War I.
So maybe that's where we started to go wrong in our world, because veterans work very hard for everything. So we shouldn't be teaching kids to have a day off. We should be teaching kids to go to school and to serve our veterans.
Speaking to Cliff's,
All right.
Veterans Day started as Armistice Day in 1919. It became a federal holiday in 1938. That's probably when Lowell started celebrating the day before. And it was renamed Veterans Day in 1954. So much of all of your lifetime, it's been Veterans Day, Eileen.
Yeah, I guess I've never not known a world where we didn't have a day off in November for Veterans Day.
Well, my son would not have liked to have gone to school on Veterans Day because that's his birthday is on Veterans Day. So he always had his birthday off from school, so he always enjoyed that.
So John McDonough's parents screwed this up for you, Eileen, and nothing we can do about it.
I can't, Cliff. I can't. Anthony's going to go to my sister's, work with her tomorrow, and serve the older people for dinner. And they're going to have a Veterans Day celebration.
Do you know what the dinner is?
What'd you say?
Do you know what the dinner is?
I don't know, but I can find out.
No, it's okay.
What it is.
Is it meatloaf, prime rib, turkey, chicken?
You know what? I didn't even ask.
Okay.
Peanut butter and jelly.
So, Mike, tomorrow at your festivities in your village, how many units in your Florida village?
How much? How many veterans did you say?
How many units do you have in your village?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, we have over 600 units, somewhere around 650 units.
Will you have food tomorrow at your veteran ceremony?
Yes. So they had a sign-up sheet, so they would make sure they had enough food for everybody. They have some light food like mini sandwiches and some chips and, something light, And they'll have lemonade or soda or something like that.
And I got a comment from the audience. Pretty soon, the teachers will have 180 days off. I don't see that coming anytime soon, Bart, but thank you for putting it out there.
So, I guess my bottom line question, Eileen, is are our students being taught that we have a workable political system where we have discussion, sort of like you go to Walter Baggett's book, Physics and Politics. He says the big thing is that you have open discussion. Are our students being taught that?
Oh, you're glitching a little bit. I don't think I think our teachers are trying to teach our teachers are trying to teach our students that, but I think that many factors prevent our students from keeping an open mind, and they see that in our own government at the same time.
Like what is keeping the students from keeping an open mind?
Well, just think of, the generational, like you were talking on the show on Friday about the SNAP benefits, only supposed to be in a certain amount of time, right? But it's now become a generational thing where people fight to stay on welfare because it's the only way of life that they know.
Well, that pours over then into they don't see the value of getting a high school diploma, of getting a college degree, or going to a trade
Oh, don't worry
school.
about it. It's good.
And that's what hinders, and essentially that's what hinders having an open discussion and being open to different point of views.
Okay. Mike, any thoughts on this?
Well, we've been fighting this since for decades now, since Clinton was president. We had passed different laws or different things that, if you wanted welfare, you were on it only so long, and then you had to work and get a job. There was training available, and people are still on it. They're supposedly they weren't going to offer welfare to people after I think it was 5 years. If you didn't, after 5 years, you got to, pull up your bootstraps basically and find a way to earn a living. We're not going to keep giving you money. Well, that hasn't happened. And part of it is that it's the bureaucracy. They don't clamp down. They don't go and make sure people are doing what they're supposed to. And, I think they're starting to do some of that now again, but it's a big mess. It's going to take a while to straighten that out. And hopefully that'll change people's thinking. If people realize that they're not going to be able to stay on government subsidies for their entire life, they're going to have to get an education, find a job, and, they're going to have to pay their own bills instead of the government doing it. Because we can't continue accumulating the debt we're accumulating.
John, you want to make a thought here?
I was looking at tomorrow's show. We got Bobby always going to be here. Cisco Maldonado's going to be here. And Tom Bomo's going to be here for a celebration of Veterans Day. Time is short, Cliff.
Okay. Well, I encourage people to go to the Memorial Auditorium at 11 o'clock and honor our veterans, and I hope everyone has a good day today, even though it's going to be rainy.
Are you going, Cliff?
Yes.
All right.
Morning, everyone.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Morning, Kathy.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I forgot to mention too, today's the first day of our bocce league, so
Yeah.
we're tied up all day on Mondays. We run the bocce league. There's 20 teams
We got
in our
80
league.
people.
80 people, and then all the subs. So today for the next, until the end of February, we'll be doing bocce every Monday, so.
And first day, we start out with 10 subs. People not down yet.
All right, well, I hope there's not a lot of yelling and screaming. Have a good day.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Have fun botching.
We'll see you next
All right.
time. Thanks for
We'll
watching.
see ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I know I'm trying to get out of this.
Mary Reeves isn't here.
We'll see you, John.
Bye.